I'm not in my living room. Hi, this is the Alison Arngrim Show, and I'm Alison Arngrim, although some of you may remember me as Evil Nellie Olson from Little House on the Prairie. Tonight, I am Alison Arngrim, and this is the Alison Arngrim Show, where we talk about things that make you feel good. The movies and the television shows that made us feel good, and the people who made them. And people who are doing things now to make the world a better and more interesting place. And I have, like, all of them. I have, like, so many people in this room, we can't even have them all in the show at the same time. We're having to stagger them. It's totally crazy. I can't believe I'm in studio. I am wearing pants. I am not in my living room. I actually have on pants and shoes for this show. This is the first non-Zoom show in like a year and a half, 2 years or something insane. So, we're live with people. Very exciting. So, there's a, and see, they're playing the show in the show. That's made up. Oh, wow. So, there's a play called The Secret World of Archy and Mehitabel. And some of you have been watching my readings on Facebook know I read some of Archy and Mehitabel there because it's a great book. Don Marquis, who I always said Marquis, no, it's Marquis apparently. And this is a million years ago, well, like literally 100 years ago. And he was a newspaper columnist, and he wrote this story about, well, a cockroach. So it's a cockroach, but the cockroach is very smart.
And a cat.
And the cockroach uses the keyboard in this guy's office, and he has to jump to write about his relationship with a cat named Archy the cockroach and this cat Mehitabel, who may possibly have been Cleopatra in another life, but at least that's what she says. We don't know. And it gets very complicated, and there's bugs, and then there's the human boss who owns a typewriter. Yeah, I know. It's like, what is she smoking? This is actually a book, and it's awesome, and now it's a play. It's been a movie, it's been a cartoon, it's now a play, and I know everybody in it. So it's being directed by my old friend Moosey Dreyer, who was even on Little House on the Prairie, and Richard Horvitz is in it, and yes, Carolyn Hennessy is in it, and also Bill Cott, and we've got most of them here, and then we'll start moving people in and out. So we'll just look, they're all here. We'll start off to the end there. We have Mr. Bill Cott. We have, of course, we've had any winner. Yes, hello, General Hospital, etc. True Blood, you love her. Carolyn Hennessy, who's been on the show before. Hey.
What? No applause for me? There we go. Sorry.
Sound familiar?
Moosey Dreyer's been working since infancy, has been in absolutely everything you've ever seen, and yes, he was in the episode of Little House, the one where Ma tries to cut her leg off, but like not in that scene. But he was in that episode. He's been on Little House. So there you go. Moosey Dreyer.
Thank you. I'm not wearing pants.
Are you not wearing pants? And yes, from Voice of Invader Zim. Oh no, Richard Horvitz.
I'm wearing Moosey's pants.
This got weird. Sorry,
I knew it would get weird. This is so crazy. Okay, this is a lot.
Guess what I'm not wearing.
I know she's not. And Dan, am I saying Gilvazan? Gilvazan is also here, and as is the producer, I'm going to say it wrong. Joselle. She is here. So they're all here, and we'll we'll move some people around. It'll be awesome. You'll love it. So I'm just blown away that I'm going to start with the director. So what possessed you to do this, Moosey? Because I'm so excited. I love Archy and Mehitabel, and I'm so thrilled you're doing this.
Well, I love a lot of things. One of them is Dan. The other is Joselle, and also theater. I love theater. I did a little math recently. It's my 29th play that I directed.
Nice.
And it's weird. I thought that doesn't sound like a big number. I feel like it's taken my world. But every single play, as you might know, is just it's like giving birth, Yeah. So and also Dan introduced me to Don Marquis, and I actually saw the passion in his eyes about this adaptation, and I just kind of went, okay, there's something here. If anything, I like to do this, with Dan, for Dan, behind and in front of Dan, And then I'm a fan of Don Marquis. And I'm so happy to see that you were when I saw you do a reading on.
I was so excited. I saw a thing on Facebook. You guys were doing this and Carolyn's and of course Bob and I are both like, oh, Archy and Mehitabel. People are like, what the heck's Archy and Mehitabel? And I'm like, no, man, there's this cockroach and he writes and it's really important and there's a cat and everyone
it's their
thinks
fault
I'm crazy.
for not being 87 years old.
Right? See, I had older parents who got turned on to Archy and Mehitabel years ago, and when you read it's fascinating when you go to read the book. book, it's because there's no punctuation. Because hey, he's a cockroach. What's he supposed to do? He's got no shift.
All
So
lowercase.
it's all lowercase, and it's all just one big sentence. There's nothing. You have
Yeah.
to like realize what you're reading. It's very difficult to read.
Yeah.
But the characters are amazing. The whole character of the cockroach and his whole relationship with this cat and all the things that go on, and then the other critters that they run into.
Yeah.
There's the rat and fleas and God knows what else.
And what's fun about doing a play is that Mr. Marquis, he pretty much put these characters on a canvas, and so if you're going to bring it to life, you need the talent to put their little choices and their spin on it, and so it's ours. This one's ours. It's completely original, with the exception of some of the excerpts of his work, and it's that's exciting to me. I love that. It's so original. You wouldn't have me here if I'm doing Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. You ever hear of that one?
Right. I might because I like you. But indeed,
Streetcar.
no, it was the Cat and the Cockroach. It gets me every time. And I'm trying to think like, okay, people who have played the cat. Carol Channing was the voice of the kitty cat in the cartoon. But I thought when I saw Carolyn Hennessy was playing Mehitabel, and both Bob and I said, who the hell else would play Mehitabel the cat except Carolyn Hennessy? Yes. Are you're bathing?
I'm just bathing.
She's bathing.
I'm grooming myself. That's right.
Yeah.
Hi, honey.
Hi. So how much fun is this?
It's why we act. This Mehitabel is why I act. Honestly, they approached me with this role, and I read it, and I was not familiar with the works of Don Marquis, but I certainly am now, and I thought, well, this is just, and the Whitefire Theater. There's something about this, admittedly small, dusty, dinky little theater that's will be pristine when we open. But,
I've been there. I totally know what you're talking about.
I don't know what it is about this particular theater. I have such a heart connection to it. I love it. I've been in a couple of plays that Moosey has directed there as well, and it's just a grand old time. But Mehitabel is, you can get lost in her. And I probably will.
Because she had so many past lives.
Well,
I mean, in the book, she's been everybody.
Absolutely.
At some point. She's
But
lived
it's what she's living now that is really very profound and very telling and very funny. But I can tell you it's going to require an audience. Mehitabel is one of those roles that some roles, not a lot, but some you can just kind of act in a big black box by yourself. Not Mehitabel. She's going to need an audience, and it's going to be Moosey there every night saying, you know what, you really went too far tonight. You went too far with that. And it's like, did I, Moosey, really? It's all authentic. It's all, it's coming from a grounded place. But, because I'm like a racehorse at the starting line right now. And I just want to go.
Because she's an alley cat, but she's very grand. And she talks about she's not like a normal alley cat.
She's stuck in the body of an alley cat. She has been these queens. She's been these very prominent people. And she happens to be stuck as an alley cat, and so she has to deal with that. So she, how is she going to do it? Well, she's going to find every Tom she can in New York City.
Yeah, she's a real survivor.
Yeah,
she's
right.
like, okay, this tomcat
my
might be
gosh.
my ticket out of here, maybe
Yeah, exactly.
not. She's
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think she is, and she would need an audience because she's very much telling her story.
She's a performer.
Telling the cockroach
Yeah,
about. She's
yeah.
like, you need to understand. I have to make them understand.
And she truly, the only one who really understands her, and I think really appreciates her, is Archie. And the way Dan is playing Archie, it kind of brings me to tears every once in a while. So, because his love for Mehitabel kind of is just sort of seeps out. And the two of them could not be more disparate. I mean, he's this tall and she's like this. And she could eat him, as an hors d'oeuvre. Or hors d'oeuvre.
I'd just like to add that if our world had a Nellie Olson, it would be Mehitabel.
Yeah, that's probably why I love her so. It's like the first time I even read Georgia, I went, oh, it's the Nellie Olson.
It's the Nellie Olson of and yes, right, with a little Cleopatra and a little Nefertiti
Bill,
thrown in.
you play the actual human in this
Yes,
extravaganza.
I play the only human being.
You are the only. Bill Cott is the only human being in this show.
Just like at home, surrounded by insects.
Don't hold it against him.
Like a lot of the people in this, you have a lot of voiceover in your history. In your
Yes.
career. Yes. So a
Yeah.
lot of people are voice people running around here. Yeah.
We do, yeah, and we're here to all share our voices and now be seen on screen. Yeah, I've done a lot of voiceover work myself. I've done, I was the voice of the announcer on the Ambiguously Gay duo on
Love that.
Saturday Night Live. Yeah, That was a lot of fun, and Curious George, the animated series. But yeah, this character is very. It's a return for me to the sorts of characters that I played when I was a kid, which would always be middle-aged, old school, cigar chomping, pacing around and shouting orders, sort of, like Florence Ziegfeld sort of characters.
Were you one of those people who was like 40 when they were 12?
Yes. Every High School Musical, I was washing the gray stuff out of my hair.
Me too.
All right?
Now
I think
don't
that's
have
all
to
of us here. So-
Not all of us.
All right, sorry. You're
Just
still
now,
washing it
Just
out.
now. I
But
just.
you're the only human in this. You're the newspaper man
Yes.
who owns the typewriter that the cockroach has used for this.
Yeah. There's only one scene in which I actually interact with a character, and that's Archie, because and that's in a dream. That's not even in reality.
Whoa.
Everything I'm experiencing is through the letters that he's written me in my typewriter, by hopping on key by key. And so finally there's...
And people
we
watching
interact.
this think we're making this stuff up as we
We're
go
not.
along. No,
Nope.
that's seriously the plot of this thing. Okay.
Those are the only roaches that involved in this whole project is Archie.
Everyone needs to come see it just to know that we're not making it.
Yes. Yeah.
There's even a matinee. A lot of people that I
That's
know are already
right.
buying tickets to the matinee. We're having on
Ooh,
the
the
17th.
matinee. Are you sold out yet?
We're
Almost.
close. We're very close.
Oh,
so
I gotta get my
people have to
tickets.
get their
Get my
tickets
tickets. Could
now.
be rolling. Come. So you, as the only human, is that weird because everyone else is like a bug or a cat? Or
It is largely because there's I have 14 different monologues. Some of them 3 pages long. And I have ADHD, which is something very similar to this character too. He's got to learn how to slow down and focus. And so it presented me with a lot of challenges on a lot of fronts, and that's what I appreciated most about the project. But also the challenge of that, combined with the the opportunity to work with everybody here and to work with Moosey again, who had directed me in a couple other projects that we had done. All those challenges combining, especially the challenge of working with Moosey.
It's so true.
No,
don't laugh.
But
Don't
yeah,
laugh.
you're the hard-bitten newspaper man. that does
Yes,
this.
very
Yes.
old school, very old world, pinstripes, ruffled around the collars.
But you're sort of the fish out of water in that
Oh, yeah.
he represents the threat of all these characters. Like he not personally, but just man,
Oh, definitely.
represents what they're speaking to us about.
Now, Richard, you're several critters in this, are you not?
To be honest with you, I just found out this is a stage play. I did not realize that we were doing a stage play here. I thought I was just going to be on a microphone. That's not what this is going to be, Dan. No. Moosey, you lied.
Well, you know what? I got you there.
I've known Moosey since we were kids, and I still feel exactly the same in this shot. I'm 3 feet smaller than Moosey, and he's still looks exactly the same, and I look
And
like...
just so you know, I'm not tall.
Yes, you
Sorry.
did.
Cold. Cold but true.
Yes, I play several characters. You know what? The way you would kind of explain what myself and Kelly Stables, who's the other actor too, I'm actor 1 in this.
And they literally just call you actor 1 and 2 in this. This is very
For now,
specific.
we're
Yeah.
still negotiating. I want top billing. I want it to be Dan Gilbison presents actor 1, Richard Horvitz. We represent the actual comics that you would have read. That's the way Moosey has staged it. That's the way we work on it. Is if you were actually reading the comic strip. That's the kind of what do we call it, Carolyn? We called it our.
I was having my microphone moved.
Yes.
Apparently, I'm such a professional that I didn't realize it was in front of my face.
Yes.
So what are we talking about?
The way we pose, when sometimes we're like a comic strip, so it's our tableau, if you will, of these things that we watch.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Say
French.
yes. That's
It's
French.
French.
That's French. You speak French.
Tableau.
Tableau.
Oui. Little comics, because yes, this piece it was a series of newspaper articles.
Yes.
It was a book. It's
Yes.
a play. It's a movie. It's a cartoon.
Exactly.
It's a comic strip, and now
Yeah.
it's a play. So it has been everything. So yes,
Yes,
there's a
and I
comic strip
represent
element of it.
a grand scheme of different nationalities, just different characters with a lot of costume changes, which is a little challenging. But as Dan and Moosey and we all agreed, is that we're not full. In full costumes, we have hints of things that suggest the type of creature we are, critter we are.
Making you do all the work as an actor.
Basically, yeah. Or as Dan calls me, a utility player.
And you're wearing your Invader Zim shirt because
Yeah,
that's how I first met you because I was an
That's
Invader
true.
Zim fan. And
We
then
met on Twitter.
We met on Twitter,
we were
and then
tweeting back
we
and
were at
forth.
some autograph show together
Yes.
once. I got your autograph,
Yes. Oh.
and I did. It's true. And then
Did I
you
charge
got my
you?
shoe. Yes.
Yeah.
But it was well.
I
worth
don't
Prices
wanna
have gone up.
Call you out on being a fanboy for him, but I don't know. You remember? You reached out to me a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know Richard Horvitz?
Yes, that's just like I gotta get him on the show. Yes, it's her. I'm an Invader Zim. I'm a voiceover freak because my mom did voiceover and everything.
I'm a
so I love
huge
all the
fan of
people
your
who do
mom's and-
voiceover things, and so that's fascinating to see a play where a lot of the people have so much voiceover background
Yeah.
and playing all these weird bugs and things and rats
Yeah.
and critters and
Talented
creatures.
people.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
these these four, and Kelly Stables was also very talented as a voice actress and on-camera actress. And then we have a piano player. I know no one's asking, but I'm just going to volunteer.
Yeah.
We have a pianist who's actually playing the score throughout the.
And it's like live music on stage. There's a whole
Yeah.
thing of live
Yeah.
music coming actually
Dan
literally on
West.
stage.
Dan
That's a
West,
trip.
amazing.
It's
original.
His music is absolutely another character in the show.
Yeah.
So there are
Yeah.
actually 6 characters.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
why.
Yeah.
He's a big part of the show.
So it's a whole music and sound effect thing, basically. He's
Yeah.
doing as well. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
Now, of course, we're not talking to the cockroach and the playwright has put it together here. So I don't know. Do we move it? Do we move in another chair, or just have him
think-
lean into someone's shot or
I think
something?
we can move in another chair.
We could. Why don't we
could.
scoot over and they'll take turns
Yeah.
with a microphone?
that sounds
we
like a
can do
plan.
that here.
That sounds like a
It's very
plan.
improvisational here at the Alison Arngrim Show. Can we do that? We can totally do that.
I was going to
can we-
say, I have
can
no
we get another
problem with
chair?
Richard getting up.
Yeah, I have no problem
That'd
with
be
that.
too
I was
weird.
gonna say.
Oh, you have specific names
Oh.
for
Oh,
spots.
so
you
Dan will
don't
be
have your
here.
name up.
Specific
Dan will
spots.
be here.
Come back.
Can he be in that spot to put his name up?
We can
And then
make
we'll
that
trade.
just like a little
Sharing
couch.
things on Facebook is what I
Can we make it?
We can make this like a little couch.
Can we make it?
This is the magic behind the scenes, Allison. I'm
is
so
Bill
amazed.
and I can share this mic.
And our
Bill's
production
gonna sit at
crew
my
is
feet now. This is gonna
our
be
production crew is having a fit in the corner that we've taken. The actors have taken over the set and are ruining everything.
Come sit here.
Okay,
good. Yeah.
I don't know.
I
They
should
can
actually
do
put
it.
my, put my leg there.
Ass on my chair.
Well, now my ass is between two chairs.
Well,
now.
that you better hope I like you and I don't try to move away.
You know, my
So
wife's right over there. Just wanna let you know.
what?
All right, we'll point to
Shazam.
him. Okay, so the person who's sitting between the names of Bill Cott and Carolyn Hennessy is not Bill Cott or Carolyn Hennessy. That is, in fact, Dan Gilvezan. Yay, yay.
Move that over a little bit.
Actor, writer,
Stage
again,
directions now.
the voices thing. Is it, you're Bumblebee?
Yes, I was Bumblebee.
He's Bumblebee.
Hi,
This is so
Allison.
weird. Hello.
I was Bumblebee in the original Transformers animated series. I did a lot of animation in the 80s. I was also Peter Parker Spider-Man on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Some of you who are in your 90s may remember that. That was during the 80s. So I did a lot of animation and back in the day. And it was so much fun because we were all together in the same room. It was just crazy. And Richard knows too because Richard's done a lot of voiceover, as has Carolyn. And Bill too. Back in those days, it was like the old-time radio shows.
Yes.
I mean, everybody was in the room together, and you were bouncing off one another. And I don't know if you've ever been in a room full of actors, musicians, comedians. I mean, it's pure insanity.
God bless you.
Well, we just
Yeah.
wrecked the whole thing. The
Yeah,
crew
it
was
was-
trying
it
to
was
put
great.
on the name on the screen and going, why are they doing this? So yes.
Yeah, it was great. These days now it's all pretty much you do it at home
Yeah.
or you send it in, so it's not quite as much fun.
Everybody's in their little soundproof closets now.
But,
doing
yeah, that's
the
very much
cartoons.
the case now. So this is a great opportunity for us all to get together and be a part of something larger than each one of us. And I can't tell you how pleased I am to have this incredible cast, working on this show. I mean,
group, indeed.
we have this is the creme de la creme as far as I'm concerned of Hollywood talent. I mean, Carolyn is magnificent. You have got to come just to see Carolyn as Mehitabel the cat. She is tearing up that stage. There's teeth marks on the scenery. I know, it's incredible. Bill's great. I mean, Richard. Because of Richard, his and all of these guys, their voiceover careers, they're able to adapt to all these different characters so quickly. It's marvelous to see.
And I'm doing it for the money. So
Well, yes.
thank you,
Yeah.
Dan. Thank you.
Because there's so much money in theater,
Yeah.
I
especially
found that to be true.
the size of the White Fire. Yes, you clean up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, you're going to clean up, buddy.
And now, and again, it's the what possessed you. So you put this together and then put the play together and are doing this. Why? I mean, I know why because I love Archy and Mehitabel, but why did you do
I
this?
keep asking myself the same question daily. Many years ago, I found the book Archy and Mehitabel, and it was published. It was a compilation of many of his columns, and published in 1927. And I found it in this old bookstore, and just fell in love with this material. I mean, Don Marquis, as far as I'm concerned, was a genius.
I mean, that's the one I've got. When we found out,
Yeah.
my husband and I found out you're doing the play, he's like, we're ordering the book. And he did. He ordered a hardcover edition. It's that one from 27.
Yes,
Fantastic.
yeah, and it's still in
Fantastic.
print. I mean, to this day. And so Marquis was just a genius as far as like he used these characters, these insects and cats and toads and all these different animals, tarantulas, spiders, gnats, fleas, to sort of represent human beings, and was able to comment on the human condition through these animals. And the things that he sort of says about us as human beings is through humor and through warmth. None of it's mean-spirited. It's all funny, it's all warm, but it says so much about who we are as human beings and why we do what we do, and how to be. And as a matter of fact, part of Bill's arc is how to be a better human being. Bill actually starts the play as the boss. That he's actually the Marquis character, and he is having a difficult time. His marriage is failing. He's got ulcers, and by the end of the play, through some of the messages that Archie has sent him, he's learned to slow down, take it easy, notice the little things in life. So it's a lot of it is very affecting, as Carolyn pointed out.
But there's yes, it's none of it's mean spirited. Yes, thank you. Hello. None of it's mean spirited. None of it's ever ugly. But there's some serious warnings to us humans from the point of view of the insects, Archie in particular. Obviously, then speaking for Don Marquis. So his Don Marquis's perspective and scope on the world as he was living it is it's spot on, and it was true 500 years ago, it was true 100 years ago, and it's true today. And it'll if we don't blow up, it will probably be true in 100 years.
Well, that's what I like when I was reading it. He interviews a mummy down at the museum in one article. And it's like, of course, the cockroach went and talked to the mummy, and the mummy talked to him, and they had a whole discussion about life. And that's the thing is all these characters represent different kinds of people and their hard lives, because some of them obviously there are rats or mice or fleas, and they have a very difficult existence, and talk about how hard it is to get by, and they represent different facets of humanity. Yes. And that's why it's held up. That's why people are still buying a book that came out in 1927 and making cartoons and movies out of this property again and again, because there's so much going on.
Yeah, and the characters have lived for such a long time. As you mentioned, there was an animated feature that was produced in '72, I think it was. That was based on a Broadway musical.
Right, there was the Broadway musical, became the cartoon with Carol Channing as Mehitabel.
Actually,
wonderfully
Eartha Kitt.
I'm sure she was lovely.
And then Eartha Kitt had done it in
Eartha Kitt did the
musical.
Broadway production.
Eartha Kitt did it on Broadway, and then Carol Channing did it in the cartoon. I mean,
yeah.
it's just that's you're in company with Eartha Kitt and Carol Channing.
Well, that's fine.
God, she's good.
No,
good.
Seriously, no.
It's a great place to be sandwiched.
It's right, exactly.
Oh, God.
Exactly. I love Carolyn. I think she's wonderful.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh,
We need
I'm
to put that in
sure
the show.
he'd be very happy
He'd be
that
very
you were
happy.
Oh
doing
my
it.
God! Here we go.
And Eartha was just wonderful. Just wonderful.
Yes,
Yeah.
Eartha was amazing.
Right?
Eartha was wonderful.
I think he's got the Eartha down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prisoner of your love.
Archie also has some. First of all, two points. Bill Cott as the boss is talking about how hard his life is, and Archie just says, really, from where I'm sitting, from what us insects, from what we have to go through, it ain't. Just shut up. Just shut up, right? Yeah. And then, but in a nice way. But then he also talks about his perspective as an insect in the insect world, and whole tribes of insects, existing on a speck of dust, and it's truly moving. Some of the things that he has written for himself. to
Well,
say it, but they're true.
Mark was a brilliant writer, and some of this stuff, it's really. I mean, Carolyn sometimes goes.
Oh wait, you made her cry.
I made her cry.
That's
Yes.
She's hard to snail.
Some of
You made her
some of
cry.
these speeches are so affecting and so beautiful that the audience will be moved. I guarantee you. We also have a section where, well, I don't want to give too much away, so I'm not going to say
Well,
that.
I just did, having read it, and I even read some because I was doing these Facebook readings. So if you watch my Facebook, I did the readings. I read all the Little House books twice, and while wearing a bonnet, and books about Laura, literally, and then books
saw them.
inspired by
I
Laura.
did
Awesome.
too.
And so then I said, "I looks like we're going to be reading some Archy and Mehitabel now." And so I was reading some of that, and like when he comes to the boss and writes him a letter to the boss, like, could you maybe like some apple peels in the trash can because we don't have much here, and I gotta write these things and jump on the keys, and there's really nothing to eat. Just occasionally another apple peel. This just an act of mercy, and talking about how there's so much at the mercy of humans, and that their lives could be struck down or ended at any time. And could you please before they act? It's fabulous stuff.
Thank you.
I have a feeling again. Sorry, that because it's such a very funny romp that the bulk of it, that when Dan starts to slide in, these poignant, teachable moments, I think it's going to really hit the audience like like a beautiful ton of bricks, if that makes any sense.
Well, that's how he's reading
yeah.
the stories. I couldn't stop reading them. Start with, oh, well, this will be
Yeah.
good. Ha ha ha. There's a cockroach on the keys, and then you start reading. And go, whoa, where is this going? And you can't stop.
That's the amazing. Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about it. I mean, you're laughing, and suddenly there's a message underneath all of that laughter. And we're not Western Union, as whatever the MGM guy said. We're not here to
I'm not
send
just,
a message.
not just delivering a message.
Yeah,
I'm not Western
exactly.
Union.
If you want to deliver a message, call Western Union. Not anymore. But through the humor, there's so much underneath it about who we are and why we do what we do, and what makes us human, and what our fallibilities. All of that kind of stuff, but it's all presented in a very amusing. I mean, I guarantee you will laugh a lot if you come to see this play. There's a lot of humor in this play, but underneath the humor are all these wonderful sort of messages.
And Mehitabel, because she's got quite the story. She's a cat, a woman living in a cat's body who is struggling with how things were for women in that era. I mean, that's why she keeps hooking up with these different tomcats, because she's trying to find security, find life. You can't just be alone on the streets as an aging alley cat.
Absolutely true.
And she says, this tomcat has promised me, he's promised me to take me to this home, and I'll be supported financially and fed, and then it doesn't work out. And she's very much telling the story of a woman who's a survivor struggling to find a way to support herself
Right.
in accepting cat world.
Absolutely true. And ultimately, we do interact with the audience, but ultimately Mehitabel is trying to convince herself that she's going to be okay because it's dire. It's winter. I mean, well, actually, it goes for months, but it can be cold on those very mean streets, and so she's got to just say, "I love my freedom," because it's all she's got. So she has to make it work for her. So.
Let's talk about Richard Horvitz for a while.
You don't mind?
He's been sitting over there.
I know,
Talked
and which is very unusual.
I know.
He's been
My
well
gosh.
behaved.
I was just mesmerized
normal.
by your. I had no idea this is what this play was about. I really should read the script.
Before we go on to anything else, I would just like to add to that, in that it's not a mess. These messages aren't political divisions. It's about all us organisms living on the same planet, and where we are with each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and I
this
also
stuff
wanted to
is
say
really-
that,
yeah.
sorry, Alison, that I'm seeing a 3-shot of the two of you, Carolyn and the other guys. No one's looking at you guys, by the way. I just want you to know that.
What's happening?
If you're in a shot with Carolyn,
Oh, I know.
no one's looking at the
I'm not even
men.
bothering to get on camera.
Yeah, I'm on stage with Carolyn, and I don't feel like I'm there.
Nobody gives me anything. I have to take it.
Why not?
Yeah, he's Archie, the lead cockroach, and he's like, oh, well, she's
well.
here, so.
Oh
right?
yeah. It's.
But I mean, this stuff was written, turn of the century. That's what's so mind blowing. It's like, and I had reading it right after I just finished Laura Ingalls Wilder's book, Little House in the Ozarks, which are newspaper articles that Laura Ingalls Wilder wrote at the turn of the century, 1918, 1919, 1920, when she was working for these papers in Missouri, which are all about the Spanish flu pandemic, World War One, and women getting the right to vote.
Yeah.
And so it's like fascinating to read that. And then I said, now, guess what? This was written right about the same time, except there's a cockroach and a cat. And it was like mind
But it was what people were reading back then.
And this is what was in the newspaper then. This was a
Yeah.
newspaper piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Moosey, your point is actually wonderfully well taken because, again, it's the same as 500 years ago, the same as 100 years ago. We are not a political play. Have fun.
Yeah.
Come to the theater. Get away from that. It's basically how we treat each other, every single living organism on this planet, and how we should treat each other. So there's it.
Yeah, yeah.
So so they weren't on the internet back then.
No.
Don't encourage.
You know, we don't
I would
encourage
say-
it.
Ignore him.
You know what?
It's-
Exactly.
it's-
I'm sorry. And you are?
I have no idea. I really gotta read the script. This sounds really good.
Wait,
won't
do you
wanna
do
make
the
that
rat?
phone
Do you,
call to
or
that
is
other
there
rat.
is the rat in this?
No,
There's a
Kelly,
rat.
Kelly does the rat.
Kelly is the rat.
Yes.
Okay, Kelly's the rat. 'cause
I
I'm looking
do,
for because the rat's a great part.
The old cockroach.
Good.
I do the tarantula.
Nice.
And is hilarious
Oh,
in each
thank
case.
you.
Just
Thank you.
hilarious.
Warty Bliggins.
I do Warty
toad.
Bliggins, the toad.
The toad, Warty Wilkins.
And
And it's really weird because I'm going, oh yeah, okay, the tarantula, the toad. Like I
Yeah,
know
you
this
know
because
them.
I'm
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'm a crazy person who reads
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was a little challenging to come up with different characters for each one, but it was the fun of it, and that's kind of like I'm already sort of split person or multiple personality anyway, so it becomes really easy for me to step into each different.
Your
world.
personality lends itself to
Yeah.
aliens, bugs, et cetera.
Exactly, aliens, bugs, woodland creatures, you name it. Squirrels that go, stuff like that. So that's kind of, I just sit in my room all day long. Dan, like, would you like to join us? Sure, Dan.
This is perfect because he is like just like a little bug, so that's perfect.
He
and
is.
she's
He bugs
very
the hell out of us.
cat-like.
Yeah, we're called an exterminator.
Yeah.
Lu-
But we're
Lucy, I've
cockroaches.
known you for like 5,000 years at this point. It's fascinating again. Another fascinating person. I always have interesting people on the show, and I haven't had you on by yourself yet, have I?
No.
Ooh, well, that'll have to happen
Okay.
next. Because again,
honored.
another interesting person. How long ago did you start directing? Because as many people, some of you may know, a famous child actor. You are a famous child actor. Who then became an actor and then became a director and everything else.
Yeah, well, it's weird because next to you, I was a child extra because even though I did a lot of work, it's the you and the some of the we can name them the Brady's and whatever. They're just iconic. You were iconic, and you scare the hell out of me by
Did
the way.
I?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Thank you. Thank you.
That could have been actor.
Yeah.
When I knew I was going to do Little House, I'm like, I don't want. Nellie's gonna beat me up or yeah. Well, so I was on this one show on Disney, this Disney Channel show when it first started, and the 5th season I was for various reasons maybe not going to go back, and then I ran into one of the producers, said what we do anyway. They got me. I said I'd love to direct the show, and so that I got into the DGA, and that was 1988. Yeah, yeah.
Because you're
So I got in that way.
Because you're working since infancy, and it's okay. So you weren't. You think that because I was on the long series, you had that position. What is it called? Like the child actor, the journeyman child actor,
Yeah.
who comes in and plays that guy in things. But you were in Laugh-In.
Was I?
Did you do Laugh-In?
That
Oh,
was a
yeah.
long
I
time
know.
ago. Yeah, I was the youngest regular on
So-
Road
yeah.
Martin's Laughing. Yeah.
Okay, I would have killed to have been on Laugh-In when I was a
The
kid.
grass is always greener. Although
Yeah,
I
right,
loved
see?
Laughing. Lily Tomlin used to have me on that chair, big, oversized rocking chair, and I had some great memories. I met John Wayne and Richard Nixon. and
Right,
all
see,
this
it's
kind
that
of-
kind of thing. I watched Laugh when I
Yeah.
was a kid, and I was like, okay, that's a gig. Now there's a job.
I had a segment on the news for the final 3 seasons.
You were the
of the
you were the
show.
kids news. On
Dan
Laugh-In, you
wrote
were
into
the kids news.
Martin.
Yep,
They'd use
yep,
my name. They say, and now to Moosey Dryer with Kid News for Kids, and I'd be in a treehouse with a ball cap. And I'd say like, little Tommy, something stole the banner. And boy, did his mom. And it was, they'd write jokes for me, and they're like, and I'd say, back to you, Dick and Dan, and that was it. I was a correspondent for children.
But if, for me as a kid, then watching Laugh-In, it was hysterical. I was like, yes, this is a
cool.
great gig.
So the grass is always greener.
See,
So
the grass
I
is
was
always
one of those
greener, you are.
journeyman actors, although I did the Bob Newhart show for
Right,
a
did you
while.
do that
But
one, right?
however, I always wanted to be like one of you guys, one of you Partridges, and one of you Little House and Walton, and they were always like, how how nice would it be to be doing different jobs all
Yeah,
the
because
time?
that's the thing is because in the series, the things that I didn't audition for or didn't get to be in TV movies, because
you were
I'm
under
on a
contract.
7-year contract, so I couldn't, and so I was like jealous. And then those people like, oh, I was trying to book a series the whole time. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
we just want one good solid job, and you're like, you had it.
For the fans, for Little House fans, yes, he was on Little House. It was the episode where Ma Ingalls, Matter of Faith, where Ma Ingalls almost cuts her leg off. It was that one. That's the one he's in.
So just real quick,
Yeah.
so my experience with that was, I got there. I think I only did a couple scenes. I returned the Ingalls cow because the cow got loose, Richard. And
Oh, I know. I've seen every episode.
And
Not
anyway,
the cow. Okay.
years later, I'm in Michael Landon's office reading for Highway to Heaven, and he asked me, "You look kind of familiar." You know? And I said, "Well, I did an episode of Little House on the Prairie." He said, "Well, how did that go?" And I was honest, and I said, "Well, you know, I grew up with like Leif Garrett and all these guys, and you cut my hair. You know, I wanted to have that surfer 70 hair, and I cried. I couldn't hold my emotions, and I cried, but I loved the show, and I would love being on it." He got up and he hugged me. And this was after the reading and whatever, but I think I got it just because, you know, I made him feel guilty, like he owed me one.
Well, you know, Michael.
And he
was
said, "I'll
obs-
see you." And I played Eli Wallach's son in an episode of.
You remember Michael was obsessed with his hair.
Yeah,
Michael was
oh, yeah.
all about his hair.
His
and,
hair.
And his own hair.
Everyone
He
else
was
had-
obsessed with his
good
hair.
hair.
And it was that whole thing when he threw the
fine hair.
javelin and the Samson Delilah
Oh,
thing and
yeah.
the thing and I can't cut my hair. And yeah.
Yes.
So someone coming to him saying, it broke my heart that
Maybe
you
that
cut my
I
hair.
never dawned on me.
Oh, yes. No, he was so attached to his hair. So he totally
Cool.
got it. Yeah,
Cool,
no, you
yeah, yeah.
nailed it. That was
And later,
very
I
clever.
didn't yeah, when you grow up, you're like, it grows back, you know.
You're right, you were. Right, yes.
But
For
back-
some of us, Moosey. For some
oh,
of
my
us.
bad, my bad.
But see, that's a great story because I was there. Michael Landa, the kind of guy you come to him and say, I feel bad because I got my hair cut, and he gives you a hug. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's that kind of guy.
And a roll.
And a job.
And a role.
And gives a hug and a job.
Yeah.
I worked with Eli Wallach. It was like him and I throughout the episode, and then Victor French and Michael Landon would pop in, you know, because they came from heaven, and it was like such a fun role, you know, such a great experience. So yeah, so guilting people is the key.
Guilty
That's
works.
if we've learned
Yes.
one thing.
But you had a legit story. I love that. And so yeah, this is fabulous. So now you are a massive director. You direct all kinds of stuff. You're good.
I
You're
directed
good. You're
Reba and a couple
Hello.
pilots and
Hello.
stuff. But no, I'm not a massive director. No, but I appreciate that. Thank
You
you.
are excruciatingly humble. You have
Right
done
now,
so much.
Right now,
I'm
right.
directing my favorite show,
If I
Secret
could,
World of Archie and Mehitabel.
Excellent.
If I could say a word about
Yes, sure.
his directorial chops, Moosey has brought so much great stuff to this show. You know, I
Oh,
wrote
I
it-
don't doubt it.
You know, I used Marquis's material as a springboard
Right.
and tried to, you know, piece it together so it made some sort of sense. I would have never thought of some of the things that Moosey has come up with in this production to help illustrate the story. I mean, just wonderful, wonderful little bits here and there and pieces here and there. He's really, really good.
Yeah, I've been to other
Thank
stuff,
you.
and I think it was probably at the White Fire. I know I've been to other
is it?
stuff that
Okay,
you've
yeah.
done, and yeah, no, he's always good. He's great.
Guys.
Shaw.
Yeah.
But he's
Thank you.
excruciatingly
Thank you,
humble.
guys,
He will
really.
totally like
No.
play
He
it
very,
down like
very
oh
much,
that.
very much
Yeah.
is.
No,
but he's-
the trick is to get talented people and good material. You put them together. You kind of get out of the way, see what happens. Many things happen that are fantastic, and you don't touch it. You know, and then you do touch the things you think, oh, man, maybe we're not seeing this. Maybe we're not seeing that. How about we try that? But it's really like you can't. So this guy, right? Imagine, you know how like you imagine directing
Wait,
some of your-
let me see. Can my chair get any higher?
Can we get a booster? Can we get like a phone book? Like phone books?
Go ahead.
But
Just-
the thing,
just
the thing is,
stand
like,
up,
You
Richard.
take an actor like
Just stand.
Richard, right? There are a lot of people that are actors who you're thinking, like, how am I going to pull any performance out of them? No, this guy, he just brings it. And then if anything, you kind of take them down a little.
Isn't
it
that
makes,
what-
makes my gig much
That's
easier.
what I love. These you have actors where the hardest part is going to be, could you rein it in a little? That's just to stick a key in their back and
Yeah.
like go do
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
do the thing. But yeah, no, I've seen other stuff you directed. You're absolutely
Oh,
you're on
thank
it
you.
because you like an
I feel
actor's
so-
director. He like gets it, and
appreciate
that's
that.
why
Yeah.
we love that. We love that.
Absolutely.
Now
Thank
this
you.
is at the White Fire, correct?
Yeah,
Yes,
little
which
known
I have
fact.
been in too.
Little known fact about the White Fire. It's where Penn and Teller started.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I did.
Their
Did I?
first-
You know that?
Why
I
did
did
you
not
know
know
that?
that.
Yeah.
I've been at
Crazy.
the White Fire.
Their first
you
show,
are.
their first act was done at the
Really?
White Fire, and then they moved on to little bigger theaters and eventually became huge.
I love the Whitefire. Not as
Yeah.
dusty as earlier mentioned, by the way.
Yeah, please don't be afraid of that.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Brian Rasmussen is one of the best artistic
please.
directors in town. It's true.
Yeah, I've done I think 4 plays at the Whitefire. Yeah, I've done a couple with it. We did the Hollywood Shorts. I did a couple of Gershwin musicals there. I did Tiptoes and Red Hot and Blue. It was a lot of fun. And Moosey came to see those. He didn't direct those, but he did give me notes anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I still have notes.
yeah, still has
I
notes.
think I did one of the 7,000 productions of Vagina Monologues there.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's what I think. Yes.
It's a great little theater.
It's a great.
I know I did that with you.
Yeah, but we did it like, but I've done it so many times.
did
It's
it-
like
we
I've
did it
done it like
different
5 different places. So yeah, but I think I did do it there. This is fabulous. So, all right. So
When
you've
are
been
you
going
coming to
about when am I coming to see
Call
it? She
her
says
out.
to the producer, "Should I come opening night? Because like opening nights is crowded. It's craziness. I should come opening night. Is it? It's a good party.
You will be if you're there.
All right. All right.
I didn't-
We're coming opening
We'll tell
night.
you what to bring later when we're off the air.
Allison,
Potluck.
I wasn't even invited to the after
You're not
party,
even
so,
going to the
so you should go.
Sorry, Richard, you're being recast.
Yes. Well, okay.
It's true. You do have a cast where you don't really have to tell them to do anything.
I'm telling you.
But see, that's why I love. That's why when I do theater, that's the fun part because you have rehearsal. With TV, you know, it's like okay, we're here, and now we're just going to shoot this, and good. Now we're done,
Yeah.
and you kind of go. I hope that was okay. I think that was what I was supposed to do. But the lovely thing, play rehearsal and hours and hours and days where you get to do things and try things out.
Not in our show.
How
no, I'm
long
just
did you
kidding.
get? How long rehearsal did you even get?
Well, it's a one act, a good, long, lengthy, entertaining one act. So it's not, a huge chunk of material, which is nice. And I'm personally thankful when a play is not 3 hours long,
Because I've done those, and it's
brutal. But also
Yeah.
with good but small theater in Los Angeles, anyway, I can only speak for this coast. You're going to get talented people, but it's twofold. They're talented, so they're also getting pulled and they're in
they're
demand
busy.
other
And
places.
that's the problem when you do a thing in LA. It's not like New York where people are theater people and people in LA are there to do TV and movies, and then they do a play because they want to or their agent told them to, and they need to do something. But as soon as the phone rings and they say come do a thing for TV and film, they go, oh, bye, man.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Sucks.
that's
And it's understandable, but that's if no one was getting a call, I'd be concerned because they're
Then why are they in your show? Yeah, right.
yeah. But it's a juggle. It's a challenge, but people do it, and we're doing it right now. We go up on Saturday, and all these people are getting. Yeah, this Saturday.
What?
Yeah.
We should have probably told you that.
Get Carol Channing on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Carol!
Gonna be difficult.
Carol!
That's going to be difficult.
I'm already playing with bugs every day.
So, trying to pull performances out of these shy people has really been the mountain
Hard.
to climb for me. Yeah.
Very, very, very difficult. So, as the only human,
Yes. That might be debatable after that last
I think
comment.
that may be it. That's her title of this. Hi, I'm the only human in this show.
Yes.
So yeah, it's you're the hardware reporter. He's using your typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
And so the initial reaction is it that you're hallucinating? It is disbelief when you realize that you're having a cockroach
Yeah,
communicate with you.
Yeah, it seems to him at first that I would have to be crazy to believe this is what's happening, but he has that physical proof. He has it there, and so that kind of damns him to an existence of, at the very least, loading the typewriter to see what else is going to come out.
Right, because he begs him, could you put in a fresh sheet of paper? I can't load the paper in. I'm a
Yeah.
cockroach.
He
Give
could,
me
but
a
it'd be
fresh sheet
quite
of
a
paper
workout.
and some apple peels and stuff. And it's like, okay, what do I do? Have I lost my mind? Did I type this in the middle of the night? Or is this happening?
Right. So he's got to live this experience out. He's got to read everything, and he's an editor and a publisher by nature, so he has to make sense of it.
And there's
He
no
has to-
punctuation or capitalization or anything. They're all giant
Exactly.
run-on sentences with no capitalization.
And who would
because-
want to dare try to capitalize and punctuate? So, and then, as a result of just the process of reading them, he goes through a major transformation. He learns to slow down. He learns to really look at the world around him, at the little things, all the little things. And that could mean all the people in his life, the people he loves, the people who love him, the people who work for him, the cleaning crew. He mentions the cleaning crew several times in the play, never mentions any of them by name. You know?
Ooh, right. He doesn't know the name of the lady who cleans his office, as they say. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
But the cockroach would definitely know the cleaning crew. That would be that
which
would-
ones to avoid?
Yikes.
Incoming.
Watch out for France.
Can I say a word about you had mentioned several times that it's all in lowercase. There's
Yes,
no punctuation.
Yes, it's
The
hilarious.
one of the
to read.
reasons for that is during Marquis's time, free verse poetry was very popular, and what that was the E.E. Cummings type of poetry, where it's just run-on sentences. There's no punctuation and there's no capitalization. So in a way, he was satirizing that
Yes.
at the same
Two
time.
things happened at the same time. He started writing this. E.E. Cummings and the poets who said, "I'm not going to capitalize
Yes.
anything," suddenly became the rage, and
Yes.
this became thing. And at the same time, Metamorphosis.
Yes.
The play Metamorphosis
yeah.
about a man who turns into a cockroach. Hello, also was happening. So I'm seeing where he said, have I got an idea? And these all sort
Yeah.
of like fed into it. Hence, it got, because the cockroach is in fact a person who became a cockroach. He was a writer.
He was a poet, and he died, and his body was, as we say in the play, it was transmigrated into
Transmigrated,
and
yes.
basically it's reincarnated. His soul was stuck into the body of a cockroach, and he's, in a way, desperate to get out because that's a terrible place to be.
And there's also like a competing writer also got transmigrated into another
Yes,
creature.
that's Freddy the rat.
Freddy the
Right,
rat.
and it's a real problem because now the rat and the cockroach, who were like battling
that's-
during life,
What's
are
going to
now
happen? You have to come see the play.
right. I mean, there's a whole soap opera subplot going on here about these thwarted writers
yeah.
becoming rats and roaches, and what the hell are they going to do with their lives? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all satiric about and he poked a lot of fun at these. They were called vers libre poets, free verse poets. That's Latin, It's not French.
It's not French.
No. So that was all part of his scheme. And the thing that I love so much about him is he skewers all of these pretensions and who being selfish and self-centered and all that sort of thing. But it's all done with such a light touch. With just a little bit of humor. It's never heavy-handed, and that's what I loved so much. Also, if you guys get the book, the illustrations are by George Harriman. Yes. Who I don't know if you know, but he created a very popular comic strip in the 20s, 30s, 40s, I think even into the 50s, Crazy Cat.
It's the guy who drew Crazy Cat. The guy who drew Crazy Cat draws
did the illustrations
cat
he did the illustrations for the books, and they're wonderful. I mean, his work is just amazing too, and it also sort of colors what we're doing too. That just sort of off the wall, strange. They're all like line drawings, and they're just kind of like not real neat, and they're just they're just suggestions, and so that also kind of colors the way we're sort of approaching this thing too. I just wanted to give him a shout out because if you ever get a chance to look at some Crazy Cats, it's crazy stuff with a K. It's crazy with a K. Yeah, but it was all like this weird philosophy and stuff that he was doing, and he loved Harriman loved the southern Southwest. So all of there's these mesas and half moons, except they change in every panel, and there's nothing's the same, and it's just strange. And Crazy Cat speaks in some kind of weird jargon, and Ignatz the mouse. Ignatz throws bricks at Crazy, but Crazy thinks that's an expression of love for him. I mean, it's just nuts.
So he's perfect to be the artist for Marquis because they're both off in the stratosphere here. Yeah. And it pokes fun at newspapermen and the whole newspaper industry. There's a lot of sort of like inside jokes about writers and about newspapermen in the book. Very, very funny stuff.
Yeah,
That's one of the things I loved about it.
Yeah. It's just we're having a ball, aren't we?
Yeah.
Richard, are we having a ball?
I'm having a ball.
Sorry to wake you, Rich.
No, I'm just mesmerized. I really have to read this play. I'm like, I had no idea that's what this was
you're
about.
Gonna be so much better when you do.
Yeah, I guess
The way I look at it, people look at this and go, "Oh, what cockroach or cat or rat? What am I talking about?" It's fun and it thinks outside of the box and all that, but I kind of call it like the Flintstone vitamin because there's layers in there, there's messages, and it's not heavy-handed, but it's it's a smart piece.
Very
It's not a cartoon.
Anyone who knows Archie and Mehitabel, if they saw anything, if they saw the cartoon, if they saw the musical, if they read about it, if they read the articles of the book, is going, oh my God, Archie and Mehitabel.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the Archie and Mehitabel virgins are going, there's a cat and a cockroach and a newspaper man. I still have no idea what's
Trust
happening.
us.
It's brilliant. It is brilliant,
Yep.
absolutely
Layered.
off the wall, philosophical, psychological discussion. Just the story is told by bugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. And
Oh,
we
it's
have
fabulous.
such talented people here. Some Kelly couldn't be here, but I want to mention her. Kelly Stables is our other, as I call
Oh,
them,
she's the
our
rat.
Huh?
The rat.
She
She's
plays
the rat.
one of the
Many
characters.
things.
Yeah.
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 Mayfly,
Moth.
Yeah, she plays
Oh,
a
the
lot
Mayfly.
of just like Richard. She
Flea.
plays a lot of different
Yeah.
characters.
Flea.
She's
Yeah, she's a flea.
wonderful too. I mean, those two. I call them our utility players, and I don't mean that as in a pejorative way at all. They play many different characters.
Because they're like everybody.
Yeah,
Basically,
exactly.
it's
And we couldn't
you
do the
three
play
and then
without
everybody.
them.
Oh, that's a compliment.
Note-
I mean,
note
they
to
have do
self.
So many,
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
everyone else could too. But
Richard,
there's
look up the word
Note to
pejorative
self,
and
look up
ignore it.
pejorative, yeah.
Ignore it. Flip it.
And I just want to say it's not that I don't want to read the script, Dan. It's just that
we open on Saturday.
I just feel that a script is an actor's crutch, and I don't want to rely on it.
You don't want to get in your way.
No,
right? Yeah, I
no.
understand. Yeah, 'cause
But it sounds wonderful.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that.
All
I'm
right.
using mine like a wheelchair.
Do you guys individually, I presume you all have websites and places that people can find out about what you're all individually doing? Tell them.
RichardHorvitz.com. Richard Horvitz classes at gmail.com if you want to be trained in voiceover.
You mean you teach people to
I
act
do
like
teach.
this?
I've taught people to act for many years. I've been a teacher for 25 years now. What else? Oh, Richard Horvitz VO on Instagram and Richard Horvitz on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
I really, truly have nothing.
You've got me.
I'm social media. Like I have a Twitter account. I have an Instagram. Virtually non-existent. I'm not promoting myself anyway, but I just do. And then I'm on Facebook.
I've seen you on
and,
Facebook. I've seen you. You were
You
there.
know, and if there's still a yellow pages, you could probably find me in there, or our white pages. But anyway, no, I'm not. No, but call me.
He's there. He's there
Yeah, I'm
somewhere.
there. I'm
somewhere.
around.
You
Oh, yeah.
have everything.
Well, let's see. It's basically just me everywhere.
Yeah.
It's Carolyn Hennessy, the short spelling of Hennessy. Look, right, everybody, look it right there.
See,
That's
do
it.
Yeah.
Carolyn Hennessy, and just run it all together, and that's the Twitter, and that's the Gram, as the kids call it these days, and www.carolynhennessy.com. Find me on Facebook, and I think that's it.
Are you still doing circus sports and swinging from a
I
trapeze?
still fly the
in her
trapeze.
spare time.
I
She
think I
flies
still
from
fly
a trapeze.
trapeze, yeah.
Because of course she does. Yes, and where we find you.
You may find me as also, you may look down here and you see dangilderzan.com. But I want to also let you know that if you make it dangilderzan.com/secret world, you will come to our Secret World website where you'll get a lot more information about the show. If you'd like to purchase tickets, there's buttons to click to get a ticket. Also, if you'd like to go to tix.com, that's Tix.com, you can purchase tickets there. Just do a search on Secret World and we'll pop right out.
There goes our secret.
And
World.
I can be found on, as it says right down there,
There
at
he is.
Bill Cott, CHOTT. The CH makes a K sound like Christmas. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. And if you'd like to learn improvisation, theimprovtrick.com.
And every day is like Christmas with Bill, by the way.
Yep.
It is.
Wanna say
Thank
that.
Everything. Okay, and for tickets for the show, it's at
DanGilderzan.com/Secret World, or go to Tix.com, do a search on Secret World, and you will pop all the dates will pop.
Or I don't mean. Or what about the Whitefire?
Whitefire.
Or you,
website
on
too.
whitefire.com, you can also go there and
Whitefire Theater.
Theater.
Whitefire
with an R-E,
Theater.
not an E.
Theater.
Yes.
Theater.
We're very, very proper.
Proper.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be there opening night. Okay,
Oh,
2 tickets,
wonderful.
please. I'm going to be there opening night and come to the party. Yes. And then maybe I'll come like later in the run because
Yeah.
just come like when everybody's not
Yeah.
like hyperventilating and fainting practically because it's opening night. And but yes, I read the book and the whole thing, so I'm like completely into it. So you should all come to this. It is actually brilliant. As I said, I've been reading about this stuff for ages, and I've been following following the life of that cockroach and that cat for years. So I'm totally into it, and I think you will be too. So thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Everyone,
Thank you
please
for
go
having
see The
us.
Thanks for
Secret
having
World of Archy and Mehitabel. And this is Alison Arngrim, and this is the Alison Arngrim Show. Thank you.